Our world is noisy and restless, with constant demands on our attention. We long for peace, a quiet moment to breathe and reconnect with ourselves. The search for stillness is a universal need, not just an escape, but a return to what matters. True tranquility isn't found in distractions, but in simple, meaningful moments that ground us. Sometimes peace is closer than we think, hidden in the gentle, overlooked rhythms of daily life. This is an invitation to slow down and rediscover the quiet streams of calm that flow through our lives. The Catholic faith offers a steady path to peace, rooted in God's unchanging love. Sacred music, gentle hymns, soft organ, or harp, invites us into reflection and quiet. When paired with the soothing sounds of nature, like rain, this music becomes a sanctuary for the soul. These moments of calm are accessible to everyone, not just the devout or the learned. Prayer, music, and nature together create a personal retreat from the world's noise. Let's explore how faith, music, and the beauty of creation can bring peace into our daily lives. This is your gentle guide to building a sanctuary for your heart and spirit. The Catholic Church is a spiritual home, a place to rest, reflect, and belong. Stepping into a church, the world's noise fades, replaced by stillness and history. The rituals and prayers of the faith offer stability and comfort, connecting us to generations before us. At the heart of this sanctuary is God's unconditional love, a source of peace that doesn't depend on our circumstances. The church community supports us, reminding us we're not alone on this journey. In fellowship, we find strength and comfort, sharing both burdens and joys. Here, faith becomes a living source of calm, anchoring us in love and tradition. This is where many discover the deepest peace. Prayer is the quiet conversation that connects us to God wherever we are. It's not about perfect words, but honest hearts, laying down burdens and finding rest. The Rosary and Lectio Divina offer meditative ways to calm the mind and listen for God's voice. In prayer, we're free to share our struggles, finding clarity and hope. Prayer transforms ordinary moments into encounters with grace. Whenever life feels overwhelming, a simple prayer can bring peace and perspective. Prayer weaves God's calm into the fabric of our daily lives. Peace isn't just for Sundays. It's found in the ordinary moments of life. Every task done with love and gratitude becomes a quiet prayer. By noticing small joys, a sunbeam, a kind word, we invite God's presence into our day. Treating others with compassion turns daily life into a channel of peace. This practice grounds us, making every moment a sanctuary. Trust that God is present in the quiet, in-between spaces. The peace of faith becomes a living reality, experienced day by day. There is a special language that our hearts understand, even when our minds are full of noise. This is the language of music. Catholic instrumental music in particular speaks this language with profound grace and gentleness. It does not need words to convey its message of peace, hope, and divine love. The soft melody of a single piano, the soaring notes of a violin, or the deep resonant tones of a cello can reach into the hidden corners of our being. They can soothe the anxieties and fears that we cannot always put into words. This music acts like a gentle hand, calming the turbulent waters of our inner world and inviting us into a space of quiet reflection and stillness. This power comes from the music's purpose. It is not created simply for entertainment or distraction. Sacred instrumental music is born from a place of prayer and devotion. It is composed with the intention of lifting the human spirit toward God. Each note is a prayer, each melody a quiet hymn of praise. When we listen, we are not just hearing beautiful sounds, we are participating in an act of worship that has been offered up by the composer and the musician. This sacred intention is woven into the very fabric of the music, and it is what gives these instrumentals their unique ability to create an atmosphere of peace and holiness wherever they are played. Think of how this music can quiet a restless mind. Our thoughts often race from one worry to the next, creating a constant inner chatter that leaves us feeling exhausted and scattered. When we intentionally listen to a piece of serene Catholic instrumental music, something beautiful begins to happen. The melody provides a gentle anchor for our wandering attention. Instead of being tossed about by our anxieties, our minds can follow the flow of the music. The structure and harmony of the piece bring a sense of order and calm to our inner chaos. It is like finding a clear, steady path through a dense and confusing forest, leading us gently toward a place of rest. This experience is deeply personal and yet universally understood. You do not need to be a trained musician or a theologian to feel the impact of this sacred sound. It speaks directly to the soul's longing for beauty and for connection with something greater than itself. I have often found that in moments of deep sadness or confusion, putting on a simple instrumental hymn can be more comforting than any spoken word. The music holds my sorrow with compassion, allowing me to feel my emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It is a reminder of God's gentle presence, a quiet assurance that He is with me, holding me in my pain and guiding me towards His peace. Catholic instrumental music has long been a vital part of creating a sacred atmosphere within the Church. Imagine stepping into a large cathedral for adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. The space is quiet, filled with a sense of reverence. As a soft organ voluntary begins to play, the holiness of the moment deepens. The music is not loud or demanding. It is a humble offering of sound that supports the silence rather than breaking it. It helps to tune our hearts to the sacred mystery before us, lifting our private prayers into a shared experience of worship. The gentle chords seem to fill the empty spaces, both in the church and in our souls, with a tangible sense of peace and divine presence. This tradition of using music to enhance prayer is woven throughout the life of the Church. During the Mass, instrumental pieces at the offertory or during communion provide a space for quiet reflection. As the congregation moves to receive the Eucharist, a gentle instrumental melody can guide their hearts into a state of gratitude and devotion. The music becomes a bridge between the earthly and the divine, helping us to focus on the profound spiritual reality of the sacrament. It quiets the distractions of the moment and allows us to be fully present to the encounter with Christ. This sacred sound prepares our souls to receive God's grace, making the experience richer and more meaningful. The choice of instruments often plays a significant role in creating this peaceful ambience. The majestic pipe organ, with its vast range of sounds from a whisper to a thunderous praise, has been called the king of instruments in the Church. It has the power to fill even the largest space with a sense of awe and wonder. In more intimate settings, the gentle strumming of a harp or the simple clear notes of a flute can create a feeling of serenity and closeness to God. Each instrument offers a different color and texture to the sound of prayer, allowing for a diverse and beautiful musical tradition that can soothe and inspire the soul in countless ways. This sacred ambience is not confined to the walls of a church. We can bring this same sense of peace and reverence into our own homes. By creating a playlist of our favorite Catholic instrumentals, we can transform any room into a personal sanctuary. Playing this music softly in the background while we work, read, or simply rest can change the entire atmosphere of our space. It turns an ordinary environment into a place of quiet contemplation and spiritual renewal. The sacred sound becomes a constant, gentle reminder of God's presence, weaving a thread of peace through the fabric of our daily lives and helping us to carry that church-like stillness within our hearts. Each of us can create our own personal symphony of prayer by weaving Catholic instrumental music into our moments of reflection. This is not about performance. It is about finding the sounds that help our own unique souls connect with God. For one person, the structured and mathematical beauty of a Bach fugue played on an organ might quiet the mind and lift the heart. For another, the simple, flowing melody of a modern Catholic piano composition might feel like a direct conversation with Jesus. The beauty of this instrumental tradition is its diversity. There is a sound for every season of the soul, a melody for every prayer, a harmony for every heart that seeks peace. I remember a time when I was struggling deeply with a difficult decision. My mind was a whirlwind of pros and cons, and I could find no clarity or peace. I felt lost. In the quiet of the evening, I sat down and simply played a recording of a gentle cello arrangement of Ave Maria. I did not try to pray with words. I just let the music wash over me, letting the deep, mournful, yet hopeful notes of the cello speak for my heart. As I listened, the tight knot of anxiety in my chest slowly began to loosen. The music did not give me an answer, but it gave me something better, a sense of peace and trust that God was with me in my uncertainty. We can use this music as a gentle guide into deeper prayer. Sometimes starting to pray can feel difficult, especially when we are tired or distracted. We can begin by simply listening. We can choose a piece of instrumental music and offer our time of listening as a prayer in itself. As the music plays, we can allow our hearts to soften and open up. We might find that a particular phrase in the melody brings an image to mind, or that the rhythm reminds us of God's steady faithfulness. The music becomes the gentle current that carries us out into the deep waters of contemplation, making it easier to let go of our distractions and rest in God's presence. This practice creates a beautiful rhythm in our spiritual lives. It becomes a personal ritual, a reliable way to find our way back to that quiet center where God dwells. Perhaps it is a 5-minute pause in the middle of a busy workday, with a favorite instrumental hymn playing through our headphones. Or maybe it is a longer period of reflection on a Sunday afternoon, with an entire album of sacred music guiding our thoughts. By building this personal symphony of prayer, we learn to use the gift of music to continually tune our hearts to the key of peace. It becomes our own sacred soundtrack for the journey of faith, a constant and beautiful reminder of the loving God who waits for us in the stillness. Beyond the walls of our churches, God has built another magnificent sanctuary for us. This is the great cathedral of creation itself. The sky is its soaring ceiling, painted with the colors of the sunrise and sunset. The mountains are its sturdy pillars, reaching up toward heaven with silent strength. The forests are its quiet chapels, where sunlight filters through the leaves like light through stained glass windows. When we step into nature, we are stepping onto holy ground. The world around us becomes a living testament to the beauty and goodness of its creator. Here, in this vast open space, our souls have room to breathe and expand, freeing us from the small enclosed worries that so often confine our hearts and minds. This connection to the natural world is a deep and ancient part of our faith. The Bible is filled with stories that take place in the wilderness, on mountains, and by the sea. Jesus himself often retreated into nature to pray and to be alone with his Father. He taught his disciples by the shores of the lake and on the grassy hillsides. He saw the lilies of the field and the birds of the air as profound teachers of trust in God's loving care. By following his example, we too can find that nature is not just a beautiful backdrop for our lives. It is a place of sacred encounter. It is a space where God's presence feels especially close and where his voice can be heard in the whisper of the wind through the trees. Being in nature helps to restore a sense of perspective. When we are surrounded by the rush of our daily lives, our own problems can feel enormous and all-consuming. But when we stand at the edge of the ocean and watch the endless waves roll in, or when we look up at a sky filled with countless stars, our own concerns begin to shrink. We are reminded of how small we are, but not in a way that makes us feel insignificant. Instead, we feel part of something immense and wonderfully made. This sense of awe and wonder quiets our anxious egos and opens our hearts to a deeper sense of peace, humility, and gratitude for the gift of life itself. This cathedral of creation invites us into a slower, more natural rhythm. The world of nature does not hurry. The trees grow slowly and patiently, the seasons change in their own time, and the river flows steadily toward the sea. When we spend time in this environment, our own frantic pace begins to slow down. We start to notice the small details, the intricate pattern of a leaf, the determined journey of an ant, the gentle unfolding of a flower bud. This mindful attention to the present moment is a form of prayer. It pulls us out of our anxious thoughts about the past and future and grounds us in the peaceful reality of the now, where God's grace is always waiting for us. Among all the sounds of nature, the sound of falling rain holds a special power to soothe the human soul. It is a gentle and persistent sound, a soft drumming on the roof and windows that seems to wash the world clean. Listening to the rain can be a deeply meditative experience. It creates a cozy and protected feeling, as if the world outside has been quieted, allowing us to turn our attention inward. The steady, rhythmic patter is not distracting or demanding. It is a calming, natural percussion that can easily become the backdrop for prayer, reflection, or simply quiet rest. It is one of God's most simple and beautiful lullabies for His tired children. The rain preaches a quiet sermon of its own, a message of cleansing and renewal. Just as the water washes the dust from the streets and leaves, it can feel as though it is also cleansing our hearts and minds. It symbolizes a washing away of our worries, our mistakes, and our weariness. In the Catholic tradition, water is a powerful sign of new life through baptism. The sound of rain can be a gentle reminder of this spiritual reality. It speaks of letting go, of being made new, and of the life-giving grace that God pours out upon us, quenching the thirsty ground of our souls and allowing new seeds of hope and peace to grow within us. I have often found that my most peaceful moments of prayer have occurred on rainy afternoons. There is a unique stillness that settles over the world when it rains. The usual rush and noise of daily life seem to pause, respecting the gentle downpour. In this quiet, I can sit by a window with a cup of tea, listening to the rain and to the soft strains of a Catholic instrumental piece. The two sounds blend together perfectly, creating a sanctuary of peace right in my own home. In these moments, words are not necessary. My prayer becomes a simple act of being present, of listening to the sermon of the rain and allowing its message of peace to soak deep into my spirit. This experience is accessible to all of us. We do not need to go on a grand retreat to find this peace. We only need to pay attention when the next rainy day arrives. Instead of seeing it as an inconvenience that spoils our plans, we can welcome it as a gift, an invitation from God to slow down and find rest. We can choose to turn off the television, put down our phones and simply listen. We can allow the gentle sound to quiet our inner turmoil and lead us into a state of calm reflection. The rain reminds us that sometimes the most profound moments of grace come to us softly and unexpectedly, like a gentle shower on a thirsty land. Our connection to nature can be as simple and as essential as our own breath. The practice of mindful breathing, which is central to many forms of Christian meditation, finds a beautiful partner in the natural world. When we are outside, we can consciously breathe in the fresh, clean air as a gift from God. We can feel the gentle breeze on our skin and imagine it as the Holy Spirit, the very breath of God, filling us with life and peace. Each inhalation can be a prayer of gratitude, taking in God's goodness. Each exhalation can be an act of surrender, releasing our anxieties and tensions back into His loving hands. This simple rhythm of breathing with nature connects our bodies and spirits in a powerful prayer. This practice helps to ground us firmly in the present moment, where God resides. Our minds so often live in the past, replaying regrets, or in the future, rehearsing fears. But our breath is always in the now. By focusing on the physical sensation of breathing, we anchor our awareness in the present. When we do this in a natural setting, the experience is enriched. We are not just breathing air, we are breathing in the scent of pine trees, the smell of damp earth after rain, or the salty mist of the ocean. These sensory details draw us more deeply into the moment, quieting the restless mind and opening a space for us to simply be with God, right here, right now. We can find this connection even in small everyday encounters with nature. You do not need to be on a mountaintop to breathe with God. You can practice this while sitting on a park bench during your lunch break, noticing the feel of the sun on your face. You can do it while watering the plants on your balcony, paying attention to the way the water darkens the soil. Even looking out a window at a single tree swaying in the wind can become a moment of prayerful connection. It is about intentionally noticing God's creation in whatever form it presents itself to us and allowing it to guide us back to the peaceful rhythm of our own God-given breath. This act of breathing with the natural world is a beautiful way to cultivate a constant state of prayerfulness. It transforms our relationship with the world around us. A walk in the park becomes a walking meditation. A moment in the garden becomes a quiet retreat. We begin to see that the peace we seek is not something we have to strive for, but something we can simply receive by aligning ourselves with the gentle, life-giving rhythms of God's creation. By breathing in His world, we breathe in His peace, and we find that the stillness we were searching for has been with us all along, as close as our very next breath. The beautiful thing about blending faith, music, and nature is that you can create a sacred space for yourself anywhere. This personal sanctuary does not require a special room or expensive items. It is a sanctuary of the heart, built from intention and attention. It begins with the simple desire to carve out a few moments for God amidst the busyness of your life. You can choose a favorite chair, perhaps one that sits by a window where you can see the sky or a few trees. This small corner of your home can become your holy ground, a place where you consistently go to meet with God, to quiet your mind, and to nourish your spirit. It is a commitment you make to yourself and to your relationship with God. Once you have chosen your space, you can begin to weave in the elements of music and nature. You might start by creating a special playlist of your favorite Catholic instrumental pieces, music that you have found to be especially calming and prayerful. This music will become the soundtrack to your quiet time, a gentle signal to your mind and body that it is time to let go of the world's demands and enter into a state of rest. You can also bring nature into your space, even if you live in a city. A small potted plant on your windowsill, a vase of fresh flowers, or even a beautiful stone you found on a walk can serve as a tangible reminder of God's creation and His presence in the natural world. This personal sanctuary is a place for you to be authentically yourself before God. There are no expectations here, no need to perform. It is a space for you to bring your joys, your sorrows, your gratitude, and your confusion. On some days, you may simply sit in silence, allowing the instrumental music to wash over you while you gaze out the window. On other days, you might feel called to read a passage of scripture, pray the rosary, or write in a journal. The key is to be gentle with yourself and to listen to what your soul needs in that moment. This sanctuary is your refuge, a safe harbor where you can reconnect with the deep and abiding peace that God offers. Over time, this small corner will become infused with a sense of peace and holiness. Just by returning to it day after day, you are consecrating it with your prayer and intention. It will become a place that you can retreat to not only during your scheduled quiet time, but also in moments of unexpected stress or sadness throughout your day. Knowing that you have this personal sanctuary waiting for you can be a great source of comfort and strength. It is a tangible expression of your commitment to nurturing your inner life, a testament to the belief that blending faith, music, and nature can create a powerful and lasting source of peace. Beginning your day with a quiet ritual can set a peaceful tone for all the hours that follow. Before the world rushes in with its demands and its noise, you can choose to claim the first few moments for God. Imagine waking up just a little earlier than usual, while the house is still quiet, and the world outside is soft with morning light. Instead of reaching for your phone, you can go to your personal sanctuary, your quiet corner. You can begin by simply lighting a candle, a small flame that represents the light of Christ entering your day. This simple act can be a powerful prayer in itself, a declaration that you are inviting God's presence into your morning and into your heart. With your candle lit, you can then add the element of sound. Perhaps you play a soft Catholic instrumental piece, something gentle and uplifting to ease you into the day. As the music fills your quiet space, you might also open a window to let in the sounds of the morning. You might hear the chirping of birds, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, or even the distant gentle hum of the world waking up. By intentionally listening to this blend of sacred music and natural sound, you are creating a symphony of peace. This practice helps to gently awaken your senses and your spirit, grounding you in the beauty of the present moment and the goodness of God's creation. In this peaceful atmosphere, you can offer a simple prayer of gratitude. You do not need to find elaborate words. You can simply thank God for the gift of a new day, for the rest you received during the night, and for the promise of His presence with you in the hours ahead. You might hold a warm mug of tea or coffee, feeling its warmth as a symbol of God's comforting love. This is a time for gentle reflection, for offering your plans, your hopes, and your worries for the day to God. You are entrusting your day to Him, asking for His guidance and His peace to accompany you in everything you do. This morning ritual does not need to be long. Even 5 or 10 minutes can make a profound difference. It is about the quality of your attention, not the quantity of time. By starting your day in this intentional way, you are filling your own spiritual well before you begin to pour yourself out for others. You are putting on the armor of peace, which will help you to navigate the challenges of the day with greater calm and grace. This simple practice of blending faith, music, and nature in the morning becomes an anchor for your soul, a quiet foundation of peace that will support you all day long. It is one thing to find peace in the quiet of the morning, but it is another challenge to hold on to it amidst the busyness of a workday. Yet, even in the middle of a hectic schedule, we can create small pockets of grace where we can reconnect with God's peace. This is where the blend of music, faith, and nature can become a portable sanctuary. A pair of headphones can be a powerful tool. During a short break, you can step away from your desk, find a quiet spot, and listen to a single Catholic instrumental track. For those 3 or 4 minutes, you can close your eyes and let the music transport you away from the stress and back to a place of inner stillness. This brief musical retreat can be deepened by connecting with nature, even in a small way. Perhaps you can take your short break outside, sitting on a bench in a nearby park, or even just standing by a window with a view of the sky. As you listen to your sacred music, you can practice mindful breathing, feeling the air on your skin and noticing the clouds moving overhead. This simple act of looking up and away from your screen can help to reset your perspective. It reminds you that there is a larger, more beautiful world beyond your immediate tasks and worries. It is a moment to breathe in God's peace and breathe out your tension. Another simple practice is to use the sound of rain as a cue for prayer. Many of us work indoors, and when a sudden rain shower begins, we can use that sound as a gentle reminder from God to pause. As you hear the rain against the window, you can take a moment to stop what you are doing, close your eyes, and offer a short silent prayer. You might say a simple "Jesus, I trust in you," or just offer a moment of gratitude for the rain's cleansing sound. This turns a potential distraction into a sacred interruption, a mini retreat that recenters your heart on God in the middle of your responsibilities, washing away some of the accumulated stress of the day. These small intentional pauses are like taking sips of living water throughout the day. They prevent our spirits from becoming completely drained by our work and our worries. They are small acts of faith, demonstrating our trust that God is with us, not just in our quiet times, but in the very midst of our labor. By weaving these moments of music, nature, and prayer into the fabric of our daily routine, we learn to carry our sanctuary within us. Peace becomes less of something we have to retreat to find, and more of a constant, gentle presence that we can access at any moment, no matter how busy our day may be. As the day comes to a close, we have another precious opportunity to connect with God's peace. An evening ritual can help us to let go of the day's events and prepare our hearts for a restful night. This is a time to gently process the experiences of the day, offering them all to God in a spirit of trust and surrender. You can return to your personal sanctuary, your quiet corner, and once again light your candle. As the flame flickers in the dimming light, it can symbolize God's faithful presence, a light that shines in the darkness and is never overcome. This simple act helps to mark the transition from the activity of the day to the stillness of the night. This is a perfect time to once again blend the sounds of soothing music and nature. You might choose a playlist of particularly serene and gentle Catholic instrumentals, perhaps featuring the soft notes of a piano or harp. If it is a clear night, you might look out the window at the moon and the stars. If it is raining, you can listen to the gentle patter on the roof. This combination of sounds creates a deeply peaceful atmosphere, ideal for an evening exam, a simple prayer of reflection. You can quietly review your day with God, not with the spirit of judgment, but with a heart full of gratitude and gentle honesty. In this peaceful space, you can ask yourself two simple questions. First, for what am I most grateful today? You can recall the small moments of joy, the kindnesses received, the beauty you noticed. This practice of gratitude fills your heart with warmth and helps you to end the day on a positive and hopeful note. Second, you can ask, where did I feel God's presence today, and where did I struggle? This is a chance to be honest with God about your challenges and your failings, asking for His mercy and His strength. It is a time to lay down your burdens at His feet, trusting that He will carry them for you while you sleep. This evening ritual of reflection, guided by music and a connection to the night, is a beautiful way to close the circle of your day. It is an act of entrusting your entire being, your body, mind, and soul, to God's loving care. It quiets the mind, soothes the heart, and prepares you for a deep and restorative sleep. By ending your day in this way, you are not just finishing another 24 hours. You are completing a small pilgrimage of faith. You are returning home to the peace of God, which will hold you through the night and be there to greet you once again in the morning light. We have walked together on a quiet path, exploring the gentle ways that God's peace can enter our lives. We have seen that in a world filled with noise and hurry, the Catholic faith offers a deep and abiding sanctuary for the soul. It is a spiritual home, built on the rock of God's unconditional love and fortified by centuries of tradition and community. This is not a peace that erases all of life's difficulties, but rather a profound stillness that can dwell in our hearts even amidst the storms. It is a peace that comes from knowing we are held, loved, and never alone. It is the quiet strength we find in prayer, the comfort of belonging, and the grace we discover in the ordinary moments of our everyday lives. We have listened to the sacred language of Catholic instrumental music, a language that speaks directly to the heart without the need for words. These melodies, born from prayer, have the power to soothe our anxieties, quiet our restless minds, and lift our spirits toward the divine. They create a sacred ambience, turning any space into a place of reflection and worship. We have also felt the profound peace that comes from connecting with God's creation. We have stood in the great cathedral of nature, listened to the gentle sermon of the rain, and learned to breathe in harmony with the natural world, finding God's presence in the beauty that surrounds us and grounds us in the present moment. By blending these three beautiful threads, our faith, sacred music, and the natural world, we learn to weave a tapestry of peace in our own lives. We have discovered that we can create personal sanctuaries in our homes, simple corners dedicated to quiet reflection. We can establish gentle rituals in the morning to start our day with grace, find moments of rest in the middle of our busiest hours, and close our evenings with a reflective prayer that entrusts everything to God. These are not grand, complicated practices. They are small, simple, and accessible invitations to welcome more of God's tranquility into the fabric of our daily existence, moment by moment. The journey to inner peace is not a destination we arrive at once and for all. It is a continuous, gentle returning. It is a lifelong pilgrimage back to the center of our being, where God dwells in love and stillness. The path is simple, paved with prayerful attention, a listening heart, and a spirit of gratitude. The tools are gifts He has already given us, the rich heritage of our faith, the soul-stirring beauty of sacred music, and the restorative wonder of His creation. The echo of this peace is always present, waiting patiently for us to quiet ourselves enough to hear its gentle call and to respond with our whole hearts. The thought of beginning a new spiritual practice can sometimes feel overwhelming, but the path to this peace begins with a single simple step. You do not need to change your entire life overnight. You only need to begin with a small, gentle gesture of intention. Perhaps today, you can choose just one thing from our journey together. It could be as simple as finding one Catholic instrumental song that touches your heart. You can search online for soothing Catholic piano music or peaceful Gregorian chant and just listen for a few minutes. Let the music be your only task. Do not try to force a feeling of peace. Simply allow the sounds to be present with you. Another very simple first step is to connect with nature in a mindful way. The next time it rains, take a moment to stand by a window and listen. Close your eyes and focus only on the sound of the raindrops. Think of it as God's gentle music, a song of cleansing and renewal just for you. Or you could take a 5-minute walk outside, leaving your phone behind. Your only goal is to notice one beautiful thing in God's creation: the color of a flower, the shape of a cloud, the feeling of the breeze on your skin. Offer a silent thank you to God for that one small gift. This is a prayer of attention, a simple act of being present to His love. You could also begin by creating a tiny sanctuary space. Choose a chair. Place a single candle on a table next to it. That is all you need. Tonight, before you go to sleep, sit in that chair for just 2 minutes. Light the candle and watch the flame. Do not worry about praying with words. Let the flickering light be your prayer. It is a symbol of Christ's light that is always with you. In that quiet moment, just breathe. Breathe in God's peace and breathe out the worries of the day. This simple act of setting aside a specific space and time, no matter how small, tells your heart that this connection is important. Remember to be gentle and patient with yourself. Some days, you will feel a deep sense of peace, and on other days, your mind will be restless and distracted. This is perfectly normal. It is part of the human journey. The goal is not perfection, but persistence. The simple act of showing up, of returning to your quiet corner, of listening to your sacred music, is a victory in itself. It is a testament to your desire to draw closer to God. Choose one small step today. Begin there. God will meet you in that simple, humble effort with a grace and peace that is far beyond your own making. This path of blending faith, music, and nature is not a quick fix for a stressful life. It is an invitation to a lifelong journey, a slow and beautiful pilgrimage home to the heart of God. It is a way of living that gradually transforms our perception of the world and of ourselves. With each moment of quiet prayer, each sacred melody we listen to, and each mindful connection with creation, we are slowly training our souls to recognize the presence of peace. We are learning to carry our sanctuary within us, to find that still point in a turning world, which is the constant and loving presence of God in our lives. This is the work of a lifetime, and it is a work of immense joy and beauty. As you continue on this path, you will find that your capacity for peace deepens and expands. The things that once caused you great anxiety may begin to lose their power over you. You will still face challenges and sorrows, for that is part of our earthly life. But you will face them with a new source of strength and resilience, grounded in a trust that is deeper than your circumstances. You will begin to see God's hand not only in the beautiful and easy moments, but also in the difficult ones. The peace God gives is not the absence of the storm, but the calm assurance that He is with you in the boat, guiding you safely to shore. Share this peace with others. The tranquility you cultivate in your own heart is not meant for you alone. It is a gift that is meant to overflow into the lives of those around you. A heart at peace is a heart that can offer patience, compassion, and a listening ear to others. By living from this place of inner calm, you become a quiet witness to the love of God. You become a source of peace for your family, your friends, and your community. You do not need to preach about it, you simply live it. Your own gentle spirit will be the most powerful sermon you could ever give, inviting others to seek the source of your quiet joy. So I encourage you, dear reader, to embrace this gentle way of life. Trust in the simple power of faith, music, and nature to lead you into the deep waters of God's love. Know that you are on a sacred journey, a journey home to the peace for which your soul has always longed. It is a journey taken one small prayerful step at a time. May the soothing melodies of the faith quiet your heart. May the beauty of creation restore your spirit. And may the constant presence of our loving God be your ultimate and everlasting peace, today and for all the days of your life. Amen.